November's gentle goodbye, preparing for December. The last leaves hold on like shy lanterns. Most have already let go, drifting, tumbling, coming to rest against porches and fences, like quiet letters the trees have written to the ground. Morning wins the race against sound. It arrives first, a pale blue hush, a ribbon of light sliding under curtains and along the floorboards, cool and clean as water in a glass. On the windows, frost sketches its private language, a lace of breath and brightness, fern-like patterns that bloom without a gardener's hand. You stand close and see your reflection caught between cold and glow, and the glass answers with a silver whisper. Somewhere in the house, a kettle sighs, a soft click, a soft steam. It is not a trumpet for the day, only a low, friendly hum, the sound that says, "I will keep you company while the world wakes one careful inch at a time." Thanksgiving tables are cleared. The bowls have returned to their shelves. The napkins are folded and sleeping. But warmth does not leave when the dishes do. It lingers, an invisible shawl laid over shoulders and rooms, a gentle echo of laughter and the scrape of chairs, of stories told with spoons resting on plates, of hands that pause together over the same bread. You can still feel it. If you listen, the clink of a glass, the soft chorus of thanks spoken in many keys, some bold, some barely above a breath, now woven into the walls. Outside, the grass cradles pearls of frost. A bird tests the air with a single note, then waits, as if even music should tread softly on a morning like this. The season stands at the edge of its sentence, comma in place, not yet a period. Late November holds its breath, not to hide, not to fear, but the way a storyteller pauses before the next page, letting the heart catch up to the story. You wrap your hands around a mug. Heat gathers in your palms. The first sip is a small promise to the day. You look at the calendar, and the calendar looks back. There is space where numbers will go, space that glows with the idea that endings, too, are beginnings, wearing a different coat. Somewhere, someone is tying a scarf. Somewhere, someone is tucking a child back into blankets for 5 more minutes. Somewhere, a baker is dusting a board with flour. And somewhere, a night shift nurse steps out into the cold and lets the crisp air rinse the hours from her mind. The world is full of doors just now opening, and some just now closing. And the hallway between them is this morning, this quiet moment where November turns its face toward December and says without words, "I will leave the lamp on for you." You breathe in, you breathe out, and the day slips into your shoulders like a familiar sweater. You do not need to hurry. You do not need to hold more than this: a window, a warm cup, a season about to turn so gently you can hardly feel the motion, only the kindness of it. Fields have taken off their jewelry. The gold is gone, the red is gone. Only the soft brown of rest remains, furrows like folded blankets, rolled back to show the earth breathing. Pumpkins, once bright as small suns, soften into the patient colors of dusk. They wait on steps and fences, not to be praised, but to say thank you to the season that raised them. The days are shorter, but that does not mean less. It means the light has learned to speak more quietly, arriving late, leaving early, choosing its words with care. Scarves loop around necks like friendly sentences. Lanterns bloom at doorways, small moons we can carry. The smoke from a chimney writes its slow story into the sky, a letter addressed to evening, saying we are here, we are home. Listen to the sound of children stepping onto frosty grass. Each footfall a tiny bell. They laugh because the ground sparkles as if it had been sprinkled by a patient star. They leave tracks like handwriting across the yard, proof that wonder has feet. In town, store windows glow not loud, not yet. Just enough to press a soft warmth onto the sidewalks. Inside, sweaters are folded with quiet pride. Hats wait like sleeping birds. Gloves sit in pairs that have learned the art of keeping. A farmer shuts the barn door. The click of the latch is the punctuation mark at the end of a long season. He stands a moment, hat in hand, and listens to the sturdy hush of animals settling in straw. The word that forms in his mind is not over. It is ready. The orchard is a library after hours. Branches are the dark shelves. A few last apples, books no one checked out left there for the winter birds to read in pecks and pauses. Endings are not deserts. They are gardens returning to their beds. They are the way the sea draws back from the shore to gather its strength for another wave. Late autumn teaches this without chalk or bell. It sets its curriculum in leaves and light. And the lesson, always, is that quiet is not empty. You walk a path lined with bare trees. Their silhouettes are prayers in ink. Your breath rises a small cloud you carry without effort. At a bend in the path, you stop and listen to the leaf you didn't step on. Even silence has a sound if you are patient enough to hear it. There is a beauty to a room after the guests have gone. The chair a little crooked, the candle a finger shorter, the table holding a circle of light like a memory it doesn't want to spill. So, it is with these last days, the house of autumn straightening itself, smoothing the coverlet, and laying out the winter quilts at the foot of the bed. You tuck your hands into your coat sleeves, and the path leads you home by a route the feet remember better than the mind, while the sky writes its early dusk and the first star practices standing still. At the hall closet, a little ceremony takes place, not grand, not to be witnessed. Just the everyday rite of choosing a thicker coat, checking a missing button, and finding the right pocket for a glove that always forgets its partner. Blankets come down from their high shelves, the ones that smell faintly of cedar and summer. They unfold like remembered stories and find their places across couches and beds, spreading not only fabric, but the idea of being kept. Candles move to the front row of the cupboard. Matches stand at attention in a small glass jar. Even the darkest corner of the room, learns it will not be asked to stay dark for long. In the yard, a neat stack of firewood looks like a modest cathedral, each piece a carefully hewn column, built not for show, but for warmth. The axe rests, leaning like a pilgrim who has made it to the door. Someone checks the windows, a palm against the pane, a fingertip along the frame. The attention we give to small drafts is a kind of love, an assurance that the night may be cold, but the room will be steadfast. Pantries receive their quiet abundance jars like amber time capsules, tea tins that whisper when lifted, boxes of noodles stacked like humble bricks for the architecture of suppers we do not yet know. On the kitchen table, a notebook waits. Lists are written in the slow handwriting of hope oranges for the bowl, twine for parcels, stamps, and the good chocolate for the late-night cup that will keep someone company while they wrap a last gift no one is expecting. Gratitude does not pack itself away with the table runner. It lingers in the corners, sits on the stairs, accompanies the broom. It moves into December like a familiar friend who knows which mug is yours and how you like your tea. Even chores shift their music. Sweeping becomes a soft percussion. Folding becomes a lullaby. The click of doors, the rattle of pipes, the clatter of boots left in a line by the mat, all of it is a kind of rehearsal for winter's long performance of keeping and being kept. Children collect the first rumors of snow from the air itself. They press noses to the forecast, to the window, to the very idea. A single flake would be enough to set their laughter loose. But even without it, they make winter out of blankets and chairs tents that glow from within, small hearths stitched from imagination and light. At evening, the lamp is turned on early. It does not scold the darkness. It greets it one room to another, one season to the next. A book opens. A page turns with the sigh of a soft door. The story inside is not urgent. It knows the reader will return tomorrow. Winter is like this, a long chapter that invites us to read slowly. Down the street, the neighbor's porch light draws a gentle circle on the snowless steps. You wave through the dusk without needing to be seen. The wave is enough, a signal of small solidarity we are all tucking in. We are all stoking our little fires. We are all learning the names of these early evenings and the peace they bring. When you pull the shades, you do not shut the world out. You draw it closer. The night presses its cool cheek to the other side of the glass. Inside, the candle becomes a star you can hold in your hand. Gratitude sits beside you, not asking for words, only your steady breath, and a place on the couch where it can rest. It begins with a branch evergreen, cut and carried in, its scent unfolding like a forest leaning through a door. You set it on the mantel, and the room inhales, as if recognizing an old song from the first two notes. In the distance, someone hums a carol under their breath. Not a performance, only a memory of melody brought to the lips while searching a drawer for the string of lights that always tangles in the same kind way. Streetlights put on halos they did not wear in summer. The early evening is a velvet stage for small illuminations, a candle in a window, a wreath on a gate, a paper star that glows like a quiet promise not to let the dark forget its tenderness. Stars seem closer, as if they have stepped down to stand in the cold air with us. You find them above the bare trees, caught like beads in the black thread of sky. And for a moment, you feel that even the vast can be companionable. Across town, someone gathers flour in a shallow bowl. Someone rinses a glass platter that only travels this month. Someone opens a box of ornaments and greets them by name, the wooden horse with one ear, the glass bell with a hairline crack, the paper snowflake browned with age. December does not demand newness. It calls the past into the room and asks it to sit down and be part of the conversation. In the market, citrus heaps itself into little suns. You choose a few and know already the sharp, bright mercy of their scent will travel through the kitchen, the way good news travels not shouting, simply arriving. The air itself changes key. Breaths are visible music. Boots make a softer drum. And down the church steps, a choir dismisses quietly their scarves tied, their laughter tucked into the night like notes in an envelope. At home, you place the first card of the season on the mantel. It stands there, its picture opening a small door to a cottage in the snow, where a light is always on. The message inside is brief. It speaks of peace, of health, of hope, and the brevity makes it stronger, like a stone you can hold, warm in your hand. You do not rush. December never asked you to. You lift each decoration as if it could bruise. You pour tea. You let the kettle sing its one-song concert, and you listen to the house recognize the new arrangement of joy. On the first truly cold night, you step outside. The lawn wears a glittering hush. Your breath returns to you in small, white visitations. A neighbor's dog barks once, deciding that is enough. Far overhead, a plane drifts like a thought going somewhere kind. You feel the calm of being small in a large and watchful universe. At the curb, the bin holds scraps of ribbon, a bit of paper, the cardboard sleeve of a candle now lit. There is nothing to fix. There is only this a season that tidies up as it grows, that invites you to place one sprig, one star, one kindness at a time, until the rooms glow with a quiet that does not need applause. And if a car passes with a string of lights on its roof rack, and laughter bright inside, you smile and lift a hand into the cold and feel the year practicing how to end well, not with noise, but with light. At the table cleared now, wiped to a gentle shine, you set down your mug and think of all the hands that have rested here. The wood remembers. It holds the print of gatherings like tree rings, thin lines of summer, wide lines of feast, and now a quiet circle for late November. The month bows not dramatic, just a soft inclination, a thank you to the days it held, to the harvest it escorted, to the families it gathered under roofs and branches and warm lamps. Gratitude is a traveler. It is not fenced by dates. It moves through rooms and years as easily as light moves through lace. You feel it linger in your chest, not heavy, not demanding, just there, a steady place to rest your thoughts when the wind is testing the corners. You gather the last of the autumn decorations, a dried leaf that kept its shape, a ribbon the color of wheat, a small jar with a tiny pine cone that fell into your pocket on a walk. You place them in a box that carries the season forward, and you write a label in handwriting you'll recognize next year. Thank you for the gentle days. By the window, the candle wavers. A faint thread of fragrance rises and unwinds the scent of vanilla and cedar, half kitchen, half forest, the exact middle of comfort. December waits, not at the door, but beside it a candle unlit, wick trimmed, steady. It is not impatient. It understands the holiness of the small pause between one breath and the next. You think of the old blessings, the ones your grandmother believed in, the ones that hardly need words. May the roof keep you. May the floor hold you. May the fire know your name. Tonight, you add one more may gratitude follow you like a lantern you forgot you were carrying. In the upstairs rooms, blankets accept the work of winter. They drape their warmth over shoulders and beds and dreams. A child mumbles from sleep, a word you can't quite hear, and the house answers by settling deeper into itself. Outside, the trees write stillness against the sky. A star blinks, then holds. The night is a kind teacher, patient, unafraid of silence, glad to wait while your heart finds its slower key. You dim the lamp, not off, just softer. You listen to the silence long enough to notice there are many kinds: the silence that follows laughter, the silence of snow that has not fallen yet, the silence of rooms that remember and do not hurry you away. Let November place a gentle hand on your shoulder. Let it say, I have taken you as far as I can. There is a road in December with your name on it. You do not have to walk it fast. You only have to walk it kindly. You close your eyes not to miss anything, but to see it better: the frost on the window, the children's footprints fading, the scarf on the hook by the door, the stacked wood counting the nights to come, the evergreen branch breathing in the room, the kettle quiet, the candle steady. Let your thoughts become snow, one flake, then another, each finding its soft place to land. Let your breath become the gentle wind that guides them down. When sleep arrives, let it find you already at peace, grateful for the road behind, grateful for the road ahead, grateful for the quiet bridge between them this late November night that knows how to bow and how to bless. And as you drift, hear it, the soft hinge of the year turning, the distant music of a season arranging its stars, and somewhere, just beyond the dark, a small patient flame December, waiting to be lit. Rest now. The house knows your name. The winter knows your gentleness. And gratitude, without asking, keeps the lamp glowing until morning. Good night, my friends.